Hello there, Internet. MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today we are gonna play some HECARIM, some motherfucking HECARIM with ephemerals, but a very different take on the ephemeral archetype. In fact, this deck is not really, there's not many ephemerals in it, right? The prior deck that I showcased a while back with ephemerals and HECARIM had not only Callista but also Maokai support, and it was a highly synergistic build, perhaps a little bit too synergy dependent actually. And what I mean by this is that a lot of the cards in the deck kind of required to be combined with other cards in order to achieve their true potential value. And before they actually were combined with other cards, they wouldn't really do much, if anything at all. Like, for example, Deathmark, and also even the likes of Cursekeeper onto Blighted Caretaker. Now that Cursekeeper got nerfed, and the way the metagame has shaped recently, I just don't think that Ephemeral deck is really up to par with the current decks in this meta. It's a little bit outdated, unfortunately, as much as I love playing it. So, I decided to take a new, different approach at a deck which utilize HECARIM as a late game win condition. So the way this deck wins is through HECARIM into Dawn and Dusk or the Harrowing, reviving our HECARIM amongst other ephemeral units and then going for a leveled up HECARIM attack and just completely obliterating the opponent with just tremendous strength. Harrowing is one of the cards that got buffed in the recent balance patch. It went from 10 mana to 9 mana. This may not seem like much, but it has massive implications actually. The most prevalent of them is that I can utilize Harrowing with actual deny backup this time around. Like, I can counter opposing deny, or for example, if I Harrowing and my opponent goes for a Ruination, I can counter that as well, which makes the play much more safer and more consistent in general, which is pretty much the only thing the Harrowing really needed to be much better. So the idea of this deck is I want to be able to play HECARIM every game. So how do we do this? Well, we run Thresh as our second champion. Thresh is there to pull out HECARIM from the deck, and the rest of the deck early on is designed to help us level up Thresh a little bit easier. As you can see, we are not really playing an ephemeral deck itself. Like, we don't have that many ephemeral cards, right? Like, we're not playing neither Callista, Zed, nor Maokai. We don't have Deathmark like we used to, and we don't have the Soul Shepherd amongst other things, but we still have ways to generate ephemerals, right? We're also not playing the Shark Chariot because I believe in this very aggro dominant metagame right now. Shark Chariot is a bit of a liability for the most part. I took a different approach, and I only have a few series of ephemeral generating units, or basically ephemeral generating units in Stirred Spirits and Blighted Caretaker. And I found out that I don't really need more than that, because at the end of the day, with HECARIM, if we apply Dawn and Dusk onto him, or if we get him into the board with Harrowing, we will level up HECARIM pretty easily, and we have just the right amount of ephemeral support in the early game to help HECARIM's either second or third attack enable the level up, right? Stirred Spirits is a really cool addition to the build that allows me to pump up certain units as they attack and give them ephemerals. This can be really neat in certain matchups, as we can give Hapless Aristocrat, for example, +2 attack and get him out of the way. Create board space so that we can play Blighted Caretaker without having too much space clustered up, because not only do we have Blighted Caretaker and Hapless Aristocrat, you know, cramping up our board space, we also are running the Wraith Caller, which spawns miss raids, and thus, you know, a one unit that's spawning 2 bodies is going to contribute to this cluster effect as well. So the reason why this is a problem is because Blighted Caretaker requires a very specific board state to, you know, actually enable you to get full value out of it, right? As you kill an ally, but you summon 2 saplings, which means that she's also technically generating 2 bodies on her own, because the one that you're killing you're replacing with a sapling. But if you apply her onto a Hapless Aristocrat, she actually requires you to have 3 empty spaces, which is why I actually kicked away Cursekeeper from this deck. Even though Cursekeeper made a lot of sense, especially with a card like Stirred Spirits, I was finding myself too often in a situation in which I had too many units spread out on the board, and I really didn't have enough space to actually benefit from Cursekeeper at all with Blighted Caretakers, as I would lose the Cursed Abomination, as, you know, I just did not have enough space for it, right? And this is really a problem, especially considering how Cursekeeper was already nerfed to begin with. I didn't really have many other ways to really enable it, barring Grillin's Beyond and a Stirred Spirit attack, so I actually didn't have good results with it. So I went back to Mist Wraith to support the Wraith Caller, as we are running 35 Shadow Owls cards, which means our odds of hitting Allegiance with Wraith Caller are incredibly high, and that allows us to apply a lot of pressure, man. Like, that's what I really like about this deck. It's actually really competitive because we can apply a lot of pressure early on. Against control decks, we can try to beat them down with fearsome Mist Wraiths. And as the match prolongs itself, not only are we able to keep up with opposing aggro decks, as we have quite a bit of tempo in the early to mid game ourselves, but we're able to just blow them away in the late game with super powerful either HECARIM Jutsu combos or just a tsunami of Ghost running at our opponent. I really, really like this deck because of these aspects. I think Thresh is also very easy to level up in this meta. I'm a big fan of Thresh, as he, you know, aggressive Darius decks and burn decks in general don't really have the best ways to deal with Thresh, right? So if you can buy time and heal, which we definitely do have the means to do so, we have some strong options here. Not to say that this deck is super strong against burn. Believe it or not, even though we have quite a bit of healing in the deck, we do still struggle with the elusive burn deck, for example. It can be a little bit difficult for us, even though we do have means to interact with them with challengers, with Blighted Caretaker or Thresh, and healing. They can outpace us, and sometimes the Nox and Fervor plays can be a little bit too much, right? But it is not a bad matchup. It's more like an even matchup, really. Nonetheless, this deck is just, it's been performing really well for me. I'm going to showcase a little bit of climbing that I did in Diamond rank with it in yesterday's stream, and hopefully you guys enjoy some harrowing action, because that's what today's video is pretty much all about. So without further ado, I'm going to stop talking. Thank you for watching my daily videos. Hopefully you continue to do so. I do upload a new deck every single day. And that's all I got to say. Have a solid day. Enjoy the matches. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to keep the Grasp. It's a good way to deal with misfortune, potentially.
Where are you?
I want to have Grasp enabled for misfortune.
I need more runs.
Why does this get Challenger? Hello? Because they're summoned at the same time? Dude, this game has like... This game has some big issues with like mechanics. Like, I've been playing so long. And I still don't understand the mechanics in this game. Holy crap, dude.
For the glory of Demacia.
I'm gonna go for Grasp.
There's nowhere to hide. Please, I have connections. There's fallen for blood.
Three months.
Elise, where are you?
I wanted to keep my Grasp option open.
Go down, will you? Just go right to my head. Here we go. I'm going to pieces. have to get me out of here. Nobody escapes.
I basically needed to, I'm gonna keep this chump blocker in the back.
I do not take orders from you.
Nothing gets between me and my mark.
Hot damn is the boss. You best start running.
We each died, then found home.
The quiet of the woods. There's nothing like it. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Big fan of rhythm and blues.
Just like hunting thresher geese.
First death.
These woods belong to us.
Time to get rowdy. You're all tapped out, pal.
Even if he has like a relentless pursuit, he has no board right now. I don't have to worry about deny. Yep. There we go. Attaboy. How? I thought I only played. I guess he's like somebody from like Asia, but he lives in Europe, or as like in Europe, in European VPM or something like that. Because when I play other card games, I face, you know, Asian names like way more often, but there's no like region. I wonder what they're gonna do about the region thing. Eventually they'll have to move away from that, right? I mean, I see Mist Wraith into Wraithcaller with Vile Feast, and I see Prophet in this hand. We also have Hapless Aristocrat,
Did it move?
who is actually relevant. Not because, like, not specifically here.
I've whipped up something special.
I must get out of here.
But generally speaking, having Hapless Aristocrat against decks with Gangplank or Sejuani is really relevant, because that turn 1 level up progression, if you deny that... Okay, so no Keg. I mean, I just want to do this, honestly. Why the hell not?
This'll send them running. You have to get me out of here.
Just gonna chump this. Again, slow down the gangplank as much as I can. He can Twist of Fate, but he can't. He has no keg for Twist of Fate. So I wanna drop this. Because if he drops Twist of Fate with the gold card, it'll hit my Wraith Caller, not my miss rates.
I need more ammo. You picked the losing side.
Alright, so make it rain. What's gonna happen here? Okay, could have been worse. I mean, it still sucks, don't get me wrong. Like, that was a good make it rain. Oh, that's a good pull.
They said I didn't have the spirit.
Alright, do I want to Glimpse Beyond or do I want to Vile Feast here? Vile Feast. I do want to attack a little bit.
You're my best friend.
Wait a minute. Double back for the next kill. They're all tapped out, pal.
I could deny this. But deny, I think, can have more power. But then again, he also could be enabling merchants and pilfered goods and stuff. I'm actually gonna deny this. As crazy as it sounds, I'm gonna deny this. Okay, we're close to the HECARIM Jutsu combo. We're close to the HECARIM Jutsu combo, but I should have played Blighted Caretaker. I should have played Blighted Caretaker so I would have a target to sack here. This is my win condition, man. I'm not gonna mess around with my win condition.
Never lost a fair game, or played with blue as the serpentine.
Second vengeance.
Easy. All or nothing.
No, 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 no. My saplings.
He's already played 2 vengeance, right? I would love to have to deny though. I just don't know. I don't know his exact deck structure.
The shadow approaches.
I'm always up for a round or two. Something for all.
Pilfered goods.
Treasures of the ages for a price.
I mean, now with this, now he's got, now he can grasp with the Undying Me. I wonder if I should have gone for this from the get-go. Like, only Vengeance stops it, right? And he's already played 2. And of course, he could have a Ruination, but aside from that, I think Dawn and Dusk was the play, actually. I think opening up with Dawn and Dusk was the play. Now it just doesn't make sense. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, he has Wooloo. Okay, never mind. But you know what that means? This may be a blessing in disguise. Because this means I'm drawing an Ionia card, and if that's a deny, oh, we're in business! We're in business. He's really, really trying hard to enable the plunder here. I have 10, 13, which means I can do this and this. Okay, so I'm gonna go with you.
There you are.
Not allowing the plunder.
What's that noise?
Savor the moment, HECARIM. I do this.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. HECARIM Jutsu! Let's go. I've watched all seasons of Naruto. I'm ready. Show me that Ruination. What if he stole a deny from me? Nah. Yep. HECARIM with the BM. I find that Dawn and Dusk is still stronger than the Harrowing. I don't know about that, Grappler. Like, Dawn and Dusk is only good if you have a HECARIM on the board. If you don't have HECARIM on the board, then Dawn and Dusk is pretty dead. Harrowing is like a very strong, especially against mid-range decks, it's a very powerful top deck on its own. Harrowing doesn't need anything, right? So I actually disagree. Like, while Dawn and Dusk is generally more powerful because onto a HECARIM, you get 2 copies of HECARIM and that's a bigger hit. Harrowing is less situational and harder to disrupt, right? Okay, so let's drop you. Let's keep the Glimpse Beyond. Should we keep the Glimpse Beyond? I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna do a full mulligan. I need a proper curve here. Alright, so in the Ionia matchup, we generally want to wait for deny backup for the Harrowing. So we're not happy to see it super early on, but it's also like not the end of the world. There we go.
Treasures of the ages for a price.
Alright. It begins.
You ungrateful, tear your breath away.
I want to threaten these two. They'll make it rain. Or he could just take my wither, of course. I was afraid of it. I'm like, what are the odds?
Gather round, gather round.
Alright, don't get tilted, Miguel. It happens.
Imagination is not experience.
And instinct is no substitute for planning.
HECARIM on curve here is not bad, right?
I do not take orders from you.
Yeah, I think at this point we just gotta play on curve.
Force is meaningless without skill.
And savagery without grace.
I will not hold back. I'll see this through.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Conflict is all in the mind.
Please don't tell me you have a 1-mana spell. I need a break from this nonsense. Oh my fucking god.
I will not hold back. As the dragon wills.
But like one of them was like double, like top deck atrocity back to back, and the other one to like stealing my Dawn and Dusk. Like holy shit, dude. Okay, Braum instead of Sejuani. I don't think that's right. Let's drop the deny though. Let's keep the rest. Very strong win condition here. And without Sejuani to worry about, this Harrowing is just like, as long as we stay alive and we draw into HECARIM, or we get Thresh going, this pretty much wins the game.
At the stake of blood and sweat. Let's get to it.
I mean, I'm not gonna block this because he doesn't have Sejuani. And there's nothing he can plunder on that turn anyways.
The winter's claw strikes.
Time to get rich.
I feel like I can stop the plunder. I mean, is it a good idea? Like, I do like the Blighted Caretaker, but they're just gonna steal my Withering Will again. I could build up a board next turn too. I mean, this is a very, very nice Blighted Caretaker next turn. Yeah, I like this better.
Please, I have connections.
Let's stop the plunder. He can't Fury of the North. We have a nice Wraithcaller next turn anyways. This is still a very tempting Blighted Caretaker. The problem is Make It Rain can just completely nullify us, so I think I'd rather go a little bit wide instead. The fact that he got this 1-drop is really obnoxious though, because it's like the 1/1 drop that I can't fucking block. I mean that and the Elusiporo.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
You picked the losing side.
No prey, no pay.
Should I Will of Ionia this? Probably should, right? It would really slow it down.
You won't feel it first.
Love ya.
Fight or die.
Soil.
Firstly, said you met my shield?
No, 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 no!
Who need me? Every horse just needs ammo. My shield is my sword. Ha! This is fun, yes? Let's get to it. I let you first. It is easy, see?
Everyone's a god.
You are safe with Brawl. Sometimes icy heart just needs warm smile.
Fuck.
Look how we have grown! Now Tico knows me nice. Let's show our good luck. Have fun.
Give them a chance.
How can Brom help? Stand behind
Let's
Brom.
get it.
Yes! Yes!
Sometimes icy heart just needs warm smile.
Got him! Got him, baby! Oh! Oh, yes. I don't think you should be playing shared spoils though. I think shared spoils in a mid-range deck is a bad thing. I'm gonna drop these two Glint's Beyonds. I'm gonna keep Grasp of the Undying and the 2-drop. Since we are facing a burn deck. I should not be losing this matchup. We have a lot of heal, but we don't have elusives, so you know that can get a little bit out of hand.
Quietly. Closing in on the mark.
Where's my withering whale?
Silent as death.
I feel like I have to block this. But then again, like, I have the ability to clear up his board a little bit after this. Do I take this hit? This hand is so clunky, though. It just feels bad about that. I really, really don't have...
Everyone's a garden. Come this way.
Swift and silent as the breeze.
I probably should have... No.
They'll never see me coming.
Oh, I can't wait. Tread lightly, strike hard. If they don't break, they'll burn. Make the Empire proud. I walk my path alone.
That egg, did it move?
Everything's better with company.
Says you.
If he has a transfusion, he just kind of like wins, right? But I'm also worried about a Noxian Fervor. If I go for a Grasp of the Undying, he has a Noxian Fervor, then I definitely lose then. Gotta keep... I can't over flood the board either. Okay, double Grasp. That's neat.
I'll try anyone once.
For the Empire.
Fast as wind, light as air.
But they're saplings.
If he has another transfusion, it's over, right? It's over anyways, because Twin Disciplines does it. Like, if I target this and he has another transfusion, he can just bump it up here. Twin Disciplines also wins. Like, yeah, we're struggling against this archetype. We're struggling against Vern. We're struggling a lot. On paper, we should have a pretty damn good matchup, but we don't. I mean, I do have Withering Whale, right? Which is really powerful in that matchup, but I need to draw it. Maybe I need to mulligan more aggressively for cards like that. I'm gonna drop the Harrowing. I'm gonna keep everything else. It's not the fastest curve, but I like keeping Thresh in my opening hand. It's definitely a play that I like to go for. While I would like to see Hapless Aristocrat, it's not the end of the world. We do have a 2-drop here.
Fight or die.
Fuse is lit! Death doesn't scare me. Not done yet.
No one's the wiser. try anyone once. Remember the objectives. The few for the many.
You'll never see it coming.
Delicious. Damn it. Is that all? Oh, this hurts.
The winter's claw strikes.
If they don't break, they'll burn. For the glory of Noxus.
The winter's claw.
I need to draw. I need to fish. I don't want to die to a decimate.
Continue with the good deck crafting, man. You're good.
Thanks, buddy. Much worse. I don't want to leave myself wide open. If I drop a HECARIM here, if I play a HECARIM, he's got some cards in hand, so I want to make sure that I navigate around that. Alright, there's my deny. Good.
We ride for Noxus! Free what you can, coward.
I didn't know he interacted with that. We can play you.
Return to us.
Alright, so that means he's top decking a Freljord card. Did I? Got up.
What you can, coward.
I'm gonna drop the Glinceon. I'm gonna keep everything else. That's much better. Ooh, that's clean Thresh draw there.
There's nothing to fear.
So
Skitter out from the darkness.
I could have gone for a Vile Feast onto this and then set up a Blighted Caretaker to clear both, but I don't think that's actually like a valuable play.
I have my orders.
Got something for us?
Behind you.
In front of you.
No one is the wiser.
You're not gonna cheat your way to a win with all these Noxian Fervors. I got healing, bruh.
They will bleed for Noxus. Mine is the hand of Noxus.
Now, I can always... Like, I know I can Will of Ionia. But... I actually don't think Will is correct here. I think plain HECARIM... If I play HECARIM, I take a total of 5, 6... I drop down to 3.
I do not take orders from you. Your life is a burden. I'll handle this myself. Noxus will rise. They're all tapped out now.
Fuse me at 3, but the problem with this is that I died to another Noxian Fervor. But this plays around Atrocity. Or that. Nice. We baited him. I had to bait him there. I had to bait him there.
War Mason, reporting for duty.
Spring HECARIM. Got it. I don't know if I like Blighted Caretaker here, to be honest. I'm gonna keep the rest. Honestly, I really like money.
Weeks asterisk LUL.
Oh. Thanks, man. I'm gonna play the Mist Wraith here. I like the fact that because I have so many 2-drop plays. I can pair all these.
The booze talking. Buy me a favorite lump.
We could be vulnerable to a Make It Rain now, or even a Twisted Fate on curve, but so this gives us information that he's not taking an Ionia card. Now, you know. Now the Lord knows. Only the Lord knows. Actually, no, never mind. Nap doesn't work like that anymore. Never mind. It's Nap. It's Nap. Never mind. I derped. Old, like, we would have been able to know. Now we don't know. It could be like 3 Ionia cards for all I know. Never mind. I had a bit of a... I derped there. If you play Twisted Fate Gold card does not stop Thresh. Which is a very neat little, like, detail that I like from playing these two in the same deck.
I rarely forget. I never forget.
Interesting. Now Gangplank is at Vile Feast range, and we got the box.
Be nothing left when I'm done.
Just the screams of a giant.
Everyone's a god.
Oh, this box. Hey, buddy.
I'll buy us some time.
Hey, buddy. How about... How about you get in this fucking box real quick? That's what you get for using my card. Ah, nice justice. My fucking justice, baby. He could have a Ruination. I'm not messing around with that.
I do not take orders.
The power!
I need more runs.
I'm always up for a round or two.
Oh my god. My lord. Oh, okay.
I'm not greedy. My friends, though.
They said I didn't have the spirit.
Oh, the box is a good card, man. Oh, there we go. Alright, rank 2. Rank 2. We actually climbed.